So it's about 12 o'clock right now. It took us about an hour to paddle down to the southeast end of Bell Lake from the put-in, and we're just about to start up the trail towards the Silver Peak. And if we make it in the expected 6 hours, we'll be back. It was more time than whether or not we get there. But it's about noon now, so 6 hours will get us back here at 6. Hopefully get us down to a campsite before it's dark. Supper at that point either way.
No more than a couple hundred meters up the trail from Bell Lake, you come across this friendly caution sign. It was enough of a warning to get me to stop and set a waypoint on the GPS.
So, we're really about 15 minutes into our hike. This is looking back along the trail towards Bell Lake. To the right here, which would actually have been the left as we were walking along, is portage down to Clear Silver Lake. And looking around here, following after Scotty, we'd be heading on towards David Lake, and there will be a turn off to the left up here, taking us up towards Silver Peak. So we've been walking across the portage, runs between Clear Silver and essentially David Lake. And here's the intersection. We're going to turn to the left. We've been heading towards David, so we're turning left off the trail here, and it'll take us on up towards Silver Peak. So far so good. It's about 1:15 now. We reached the juncture where the Lacrosse Trail continues on towards Boundary Lake, and we're going to head pretty sharp left and start the real uphill climb here towards Silver Peak. So about an hour walking so far, because it was really about 20 after 12 by the time we actually got away from where we beached the canoes there. Well, made it up to the top of Silver Peak. It's about 2:15, so it was almost 12:15 by the time we actually started hiking. So 2 hours to get up here, which is good. We planned on 3, so 2 is good, and it means we'll have probably have plenty of time to get to a campsite and set up in daylight. Just hope I don't jinx us now that I said that at the top of the peak. So this is just starting down from the Silver Peak. Looking out over the lakes, it should be David Lake ahead. I think Boundary Lake's actually hidden by the trees right now. And if we just kind of look down the hill here, this is actually the trail. It's not all like this, but the last bits actually are pretty much climbing. So we're a little bit down. Right now I'm looking back towards Bell Lake. A bit of water in the foreground there is Clear Silver, and then the long finger that comes in is Bell, and of course the furthest out there piece is Bell as well. So this view is looking at David Lake, which runs left to right there. Boundary Lake hidden behind the trees to the left, and you can't really see it. You might see it just going through there, but not much. Now you can see Boundary Lake in the foreground there. David Lake. Just going to pan around. Now you're looking off, you can see a bit of Clear Silver and Bell Lake off in the distance.
From the top of Silver Peak, you get a wonderful panoramic view of the fall colors spread out across the La Cloche Mountains. If the weather cooperates, you can see as far off as the smokestacks of Sudbury.
One of the things I really plan on climb up Silver Peak here is some fall colors. And as you look down along the slope here across the hardwoods, there is some pretty good color going on. Losing the sun, unfortunately, but hopefully the color will come through. This creek runs alongside the climb up to Silver Peak, probably for about at least 2/3 of the way. So most of your hike you're accompanied by the music of the water tumbling down the hills here. It's 3:34. We started down the hill really at about 10 to 3. So here we are back down at the end of the side trail to the Silver Peak, and joining back up with the main part of the La Cloche Silhouette Trail. And we're going to be taking the right-hand turn here and heading back towards Bell Lake. Aspen or poplar aren't known for being a long-lived species, so this one right here is just massive. And as you look up to the crown, you can see how the leaves tremble in the wind, which helps you identify it as a trembling aspen. It's about 10 after 4 and back to where the portage, really the end of the portage from David back to Clear Silver Lake, and continuing on back towards Bell Lake. Still been a pretty good time. Well, here I am back at the Bell Lake entry point here where we started our hike up to Silver Peak. It's just about 4:30 now. We got into this point at the start of the hike at just right around noon. Took a few minutes to get organized, so it was probably 1/4 after before we started up. But back now, great view from the top, and went a little faster than I was expecting, or counting on rather. I was hoping we'd be a little faster, but probably about 4.5 hours total. So should still have about 3 hours of daylight to find a campsite and get set up.